if you think there could be an illegal there and you're going to all of a sudden lose all your workforce, you know, you just have to say, well, geez, let me get my crop off at least.
And the grapes then, are they being packed by exploited or illegal labour? Is that the truth of it?
Oh, you can say that. You can say that, yes. But unbeknown to the grower, though, I think the grower does not get himself involved with it, you know, to find out. I think that's where the problem lies.
What sort of things are
John Catus is the Deputy Mayor of Swan Hill Rural City Council. He's watched his town of Robinvale become the vortex of black market labour, overrun by unscrupulous labour hire contractors, in full view of the authorities.
And don't tell me that they don't know who the contractors are, because every morning you see buses going from here. Who owns those buses? Where are they going?
So who is policing the labour hire contractors? Because what they are doing is illegal and it's on a grand scale.
Nobody.
The Department of Immigration swooped on Robinvale, rounding up illegal workers for deportation. But the labour trade brazenly continues. The streets filled with white minivans, labour hire contractors ferrying workers morning and night.
Well, instead of police and immigration going after workers, who should they be going after?
I think they should be going after the contractors for a start and asking the questions. You know? Have a look at their books. Where's their book?
At the extreme end of the scale, what's known as black market labour, we found there are no books at all, and the labour hire contractors are impossible to pin down. We're on our way to meet a group of migrant workers who've fallen into the black market trap. They're living in a rundown, crowded sharehouse in the middle of a grape farm. We had to meet them in secret. We've obscured their identities for their own protection.
When we came into the house tonight, we had to come in secret. Why?
因为这里有很多违法的事情。
Are there lots of illegals working in Robinvale?
是，这里有很多不只是背包客，也有些只是观光签证，然后就来这边工作的人。
Meng, Jason and Vivian, Taiwanese nationals, are all legal workers on legal visas, but they've found themselves stuck in a black market, off-the-books job. Fearing deportation if they speak out, they're desperate for help.
Is this a black labour job?
是的，都是直接领现金的，完全没有什么账号或者是税号。
Meng and Jason's first farm job in Victoria was a disaster. When they arrived, the farmer escorted them to a horse barn where they were expected to live.
Inside the horse barn, how many people were living in there?
Maybe 10 to 20.
10 to 20 people in a horse barn?
Yeah.
What did you think when you saw that?
Oh, it's very terrible and awful. Oh, so I don't like there. I can't stay there any night, so I live there.
Meng and Jason, videoed here picking grapes, don't know the address of their home or the farms they work at. They're under the control of a labour hire contractor who pays them half the legal wage, averaging around $11 an hour. 20-year-old Vivian is paid even less.
What's been your worst week?
250.
Okay, 250, around there. That means you were only making $3.95 an hour.
Yeah.
Did you think that when you came to Australia, when you're working hard, you would be paid as little as $3.95 an hour?
No.
All of the major suppliers are using dodgy labour hire contracting arrangements. that fundamentally exploit the workers who pick and pack the vegetables. You'd be surprised, it's across all product categories.
Onions from South Australia.
Workers here make $17 an hour, which is illegal.
Corn from Victoria.
Workers make $15 an hour and pay $125 a week to live on the farm in a demountable.
Okay, carrots, broccoli.
So these are both from Covino farms in Longford, where workers are paid $14 an hour, work up to 22 hours a day.
Tomatoes from Adelaide.
So this is Divine Ripe in South Australia. Workers here are grossly underpaid. They make about $17 an hour.
31-year-old Stephanie from Taiwan and her friend Carrie leave home before dawn. They've been picking cherry tomatoes at Divine Ripe for almost 6 months. Divine Ripe is Australia's biggest tomato greenhouse, one of the country's most prestigious growers.
What sort of reputation does Divine Ripe enjoy?
They would be probably displayed as the jewel in the crown in South Australia, and the government often refers to them as a model employer.
The proud recipient of $2.5 million in government funding, Divine Ripe produces 15,000 tonnes of tomatoes annually, propelled by hundreds of migrant workers.
They have a layer of permanent employees who are paid award wages. They have a layer of casual workers that are paid award wages. But then at the very bottom, they have a layer of workers, maybe up to 100 out of a workforce of 400, that are provided by a labour hire company that are not paid correctly in accordance with the award.
That labour hire company is CNC Labour Hire, run by this man, Peter Yim, pictured here with a group of migrant workers. CNC Labour Hire supplies Divine Ripe with a quarter of its workforce, 120 migrant workers on varying visas and rates of pay.
Someone told me, you are casual job, you are part-time job. This is not real, this is not legal working pay. I said, what? How much is real legal pay? She told us 21. I said, what?
CNC Labour Hire is underpaying workers like Stephanie by up to $5 every hour. It adds up to thousands in missing wages. Stephanie, Carrie and their friend Eve were lured to Australia by a travel agent in Taiwan called Glory Group, who, according to these employment documents, charged them almost $1,500 just to get a job.
They're lured into travel, and they approach an agency. That agency, for a cost, set up the trip. They set up the accommodation when they get here, and they set them up with work when they get here, on the promise that all is going to be well.
Gippsland, Victoria, is home to Covino Farms. In the past 7 years, the company has received more than 30 improvement notices for breaches of workplace health and safety laws. It's also being investigated by Fair Work for the underpayment of wages, with allegations of workers labouring up to 22 hours straight. Despite this, in November 2013, the Victorian government awarded Covino a $1.5 million grant.
So at Covino, there are about 200 workers who are working for $14 an hour. So what's happening at Covino is for every hour that every single worker works at Covino, they're having a $7 stolen from them in wages.
24-year-old Winnie is one of those workers.
It's so tired. When we work, the time is too long.
Winnie is contracted to work at Covino Farms by a labour hire company called Chompran Enterprises. The union claims a massive $2 million in stolen wages is being siphoned off by the company every year. Is Covino aware that workers are being ripped off in this way?
Absolutely.
Chompran Enterprises is represented at Covino by this man, a labour hire contractor mysteriously known only by the name Sam. In November 2014, while working on the processing line, Winnie seriously cut her hand, severing the nerves in her index finger. A few days after her surgery, labour hire contractor Sam took her to his home so that Winnie could get her pay. Winnie says Sam forced her onto his bed, pinning her wounded hand down so hard her stitches opened.
然后我想尽办法要推开它，因为其实我手受伤，但是我知道我的手好像在流血，因为我很用力的推开它，但是它很高，我非常的用力推也推不太开，然后直到他手还伸到我的衣服里，然后摸到我的胸部。
Stories of Asian migrant women being sexually harassed and assaulted at work are widespread. Are you aware of allegations that migrant workers, itinerant workers, are being asked to perform sexual favours in exchange for an extension of their visa?
That is another report that we have heard on numerous occasions, is in return for signing off on their second-year visa application for those legitimate visa workers, that they have a choice. They either continue working for nothing, or they pay a significant lump sum, cash lump sum, or provide sexual favours.
My view is that we need a multi-jurisdictional task force. We need all levels of government to get together and to try and have a coordinated effort to crack down on this.
At 6 a.m, Winnie waits in the rain to be picked up and taken to Covino Farms. She's still working there. She says no one from the company has helped her.
I think it's so sad, and it's too bad. It's terrible.
If people knew where their food was coming from and what had gone on, do you think that people would be buying it?
I don't think they would. We have an underclass at the moment who are underpaid, who are being exploited, and it has to stop. This is slave labour, and in Australia that shouldn't happen.